Okay, so let's talk about the hard part of this hobby. If you have 100 birds or more, and their lifespan is between 5 and 10 years, you're going to lose between 10 and 20 birds a year. They're going to die of old age, they're going to get cancer. Sometimes you'll have predator attacks and you'll get birds that are mangled but not dead. They're going to get sick and they're going to suffer. And if you're going to have, and if you want to take them to the vet to have them put down, in my area at least, it'll cost you somewhere between $150 and $400. For them to put the bird in a plastic box with a cotton ball soaked with chloroform, which is kind of stupid. So, you need to have a way to euthanize your birds, the humane alternative, because sometimes it's necessary. So, there's a lot of people who say, oh, just fill up the sink with water and hold them under the water. They go pretty quick. Well, drowning is a violent death, and it's painful. I've heard people say, put them in a paper bag and tie them to the tailpipe of your car and turn it on. Well, long before they die of carbon monoxide poisoning, they will get burned to death because the exhaust that comes out of your car is very hot. I know someone that takes them out, holding them very gently, talking to them nicely in their hand, and then hurls them at the cement patio really hard in the hopes that they'll die on the first hit. I don't find any of those measures acceptable because I can't do violence to an animal, no matter how badly they're suffering. So, my solution was to get some chloroform like the vet uses and do that. So, the reason this is coming up is because this girl right here is Stella. And you'll notice that she's laying on the perch instead of standing. Her foot's way off to the side. That's because her hips have blown out. She has the birdie version of hip dysplasia, and that if you look at her wings from the back, her wings are held off of her body. And she flies everywhere to move around, but she's not standing on her legs. She can't, because their hips are no longer in socket. Now, I don't know if you've ever known anybody who'd had a hip replacement surgery, but this is incredibly painful. She spends all day sitting on that perch and chewing to distract herself from the pain. You see that foot laying there on the perch? That is very much a useless foot. This was not a bird that looked like this at birth. She's not splay-legged. That's a broken hip. So, she needs to be euthanized because she's living in pain. So, let's talk about how I do that. How to set yourself up so when the time comes, you're prepared. The other thing that happens if you're a breeder, of course, is babies get deformed, or they get attacked by another bird, and they get mutilated. So there's lots of reasons to be prepared for that moment. So, chloroform is not actually available online, but this is trichloroethylene, and it is readily available. This whole bottle cost me about $12, and you can order it online. It's not restricted, and it is essentially the same thing as chloroform. It's actually, the chloroform was the original anesthetic that they used in dental work, and this is the next one up. They went from chloroform to trichloroethylene before they got more sophisticated about this. So, trichloroethylene, you can order it online, and it's cheap. This bottle will last me 5 years. So, how do you do it? Well, you have to have a kill box. It needs to be made of plastic, and it needs to be able to be sealed all the way around, obviously. Okay, but there are a few little tricks to this. First of all, I line the box with paper towel so the bird's not slipping and sliding around in there and panicking in their final moments. And the other thing is the trichloroethylene is caustic. It's acidic. It will burn their feet if they step in it. So what I do is I fold a piece of paper towel over here that holds everything away from the end of the box, and I slide a piece of paper towel in there that is soaked with the trichloroethylene. And then when I set the box up to put the bird in it, I set it on something so that the box is tipped. See how it's tipped? So that the food will stay in this end of the box and not ever hit the bird's feet. Okay? The other thing to this is it takes a while for the gas to really evaporate into the box. So you want to take this, set it all up, put it up on the counter, and put the trichloroethylene soaked, a couple of cotton balls or a watered up paper towel and stick it in there, put the top on it, and let it sit for 10 minutes before you put the bird in it. Because it takes that long for the gas to permeate the inside of the box. If you put the bird in the minute you put it together, the bird will be alive in there for 5 to 7 minutes. Whereas if you wait for 10 minutes and then put the bird in, it will be over in a minute. A minute to 90 seconds. So the way a bird dies from this is it's an anesthetic. So the first thing that happens is they get high and all the pain goes away. The next thing that happens is they pass out and then they die. So it's a pretty peaceful death. So that is how I do that. Am I going to show you that? No. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to let you know that that's how you do it. You set the box up like this with a space for the soaked agent and a space for the bird separated by a folded paper plate. You set it on an angle so that the fluid will stay down here and not soak the bird's feet. And you put the lid on it and let it sit for 10 minutes before you put the bird in it. And then things will be peaceful and quick. So, that is how I handle the sad part of the life cycle. I get lots and lots of births and lots of happiness, but there is sadness that comes with that too, because what lives has to die at some point. So, there you go.